He doesn't just make videos, he makes entire worlds. He creates experiences that feel impossible, that stretch the limits of imagination and generosity. To watch MrBeast is to see the intersection of creativity, strategy, and psychological insight. A mind engineered not only to entertain, but to inspire, to provoke, and to manipulate attention with near-perfect precision. There is a rhythm to his psychology, a cadence that is both intentional and instinctual, one that balances risk, reward, and empathy in a way few can comprehend. At first glance, you might think his mind is simply playful, endlessly inventive, and motivated by money or fame. But the reality is far more nuanced. Behind every elaborate challenge, every extravagant giveaway, every viral stunt, there exists a psychological framework honed by curiosity, persistence, and acute observation of human behavior. He understands what people desire, not just superficially, but at the level of emotion. He knows the thrill of competition, the satisfaction of surprise, the magnetism of hope. He crafts his content like a psychologist constructs an experiment. Variables, incentives, emotional triggers, and outcomes meticulously designed to maximize engagement, both in himself and in his audience. The first pillar of his psychology is what psychologists would call future-oriented thinking. MrBeast is constantly projecting, imagining scenarios, anticipating challenges, and visualizing outcomes. This foresight allows him to innovate in ways that appear effortless, but it is anything but. Each video, each project, each philanthropic act is a result of long-term planning, calculated risk-taking, and iterative experimentation. He does not gamble blindly. He strategizes, testing assumptions, adjusting variables, and recalibrating based on data. In this, we see a mind wired for proactive mastery, not simply living in the moment, but engineering moments that others cannot yet imagine. Closely tied to this is an extraordinary sense of resilience. Behind the polished production, the smiling generosity, and the viral hits, there exists a history of failure, of experiments that did not work, of challenges that flopped. MrBeast's psychology thrives not in spite of failure, but because of it. He internalizes each setback as a learning opportunity, dissecting it to extract insights that inform the next iteration. Where most creators might become discouraged, he accelerates. This ability to convert adversity into growth is not merely talent. It is a cultivated mental discipline, a psychological muscle trained through relentless practice, iteration, and self-reflection. Another critical component is his understanding of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Externally, MrBeast commands the admiration of millions, controls enormous resources, and delivers spectacle after spectacle. But internally, his drive appears less about recognition and more about the thrill of creation, problem-solving, and impact. His motivation is deeply self-reinforcing. The act of imagining, executing, and witnessing transformation is a reward in itself. This intrinsic motivation allows him to sustain effort even when outcomes are uncertain, when stakes are high, or when failure is possible, a hallmark of individuals with exceptional achievement psychology. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect is his empathy, not the passive kind, but active, tactical empathy. MrBeast's psychology is acutely aware of the emotional states of others. He anticipates reactions, predicts desires, and constructs experiences that provoke specific feelings. This is why his philanthropy resonates. It is not just the act of giving, but the orchestration of hope, anticipation, and surprise that creates deep psychological impact. He does not merely understand what people want, he understands how they feel when they receive it, when they see it, when they participate in it. Empathy here is both moral compass and strategic instrument. It guides decisions, but also ensures engagement, loyalty, and psychological resonance. Risk tolerance is another defining feature. MrBeast's videos often involve extreme stakes: financial, logistical, and reputational. He operates in zones of uncertainty where failure could be catastrophic. Psychologically, this requires a high level of calculated boldness, the ability to manage fear, anticipate variables, and take decisive action. He balances risk and reward in a way that amplifies impact while minimizing disaster. This is not recklessness, it is mastery of probability, self-confidence, and mental preparation. His mind can tolerate tension and unpredictability without being paralyzed, a psychological skill cultivated over years of experimentation and exposure. Underlying all of this is a powerful cognitive skill: pattern recognition. MrBeast identifies what works, predicts what will engage, and scales it. He sees beyond the obvious, recognizing trends, emotional cues, and social dynamics that are invisible to most. His psychology thrives in complexity. the ability to track multiple variables simultaneously, to anticipate how one change will ripple across others, and to execute strategies that manipulate attention and response on a large scale. This is a mind that thrives in systems thinking, where each component, human behavior, media trends, narrative structure, and reward psychology, interacts to produce a compounded effect. The psychology of habit formation is also central to his success. He is meticulous about routines, about consistency, about repetition. These habits create both structure and momentum, allowing him to operate at peak cognitive and creative capacity. Habits provide stability in a life defined by complexity and variability. They allow focus, conserve mental energy, and ensure that innovation is deliberate rather than accidental. Psychologically, this discipline is an enabler, creating the conditions for creativity to flourish without being derailed by distraction, fatigue, or chaos. One cannot ignore the element of vision in Mr. Beast's psychology. He operates with long-term horizons, often thinking in terms of years or decades rather than weeks or months. Every project, every brand move, every philanthropic effort is a component of a larger strategic narrative, building influence, shaping perception, and maximizing impact. This vision is not static, it is adaptive. He continuously recalibrates based on outcomes, feedback, and opportunities. Vision provides coherence to his decisions, aligning short-term effort with long-term objectives, a hallmark of cognitive sophistication. There is also an extraordinary psychological flexibility at play. Mr. Beast's creativity is not linear. It adapts, morphs, and responds to context. He can pivot rapidly, adjusting formats, incentives, and strategies based on evolving audience responses. This adaptability reflects a high degree of metacognition, the ability to think about one's own thinking, to anticipate the consequences of decisions, and to adjust behavior accordingly. It is this mental agility that allows him to maintain relevance and dominance in a landscape that punishes rigidity. His psychology also incorporates an unusual tolerance for attention management. He lives publicly, constantly observed by millions, yet he does not appear fractured by scrutiny. This requires compartmentalization, the mental ability to separate personal identity from public persona, to act strategically under observation without losing coherence. He manages the psychological tension of visibility with grace, using it as both shield and amplifier. Public exposure is transformed from a potential vulnerability into a tool of influence, engagement, and motivation. Mr. Beast's decision-making processes reveal a blend of intuition and analytics. He relies on instinct honed through experience, yet every intuition is informed by data, precedent, and careful observation. This hybrid model of reasoning, fast, intuitive thinking balanced by slow, deliberate analysis, allows him to operate in environments of uncertainty with precision. He can act decisively, but not impulsively. He can innovate boldly, but not recklessly. This balance is central to his psychology. It is the alignment of creativity, logic, and empathy. Another aspect is his understanding of gamification, of structuring experiences to maximize engagement and reward. Every video, challenge, or giveaway is designed with incentive systems, feedback loops, and psychological triggers that optimize participation and emotional investment. He does not merely create entertainment. He engineers behavior, motivation, and attention, often unconsciously blending behavioral psychology with content creation. His audience is both participant and observer, and the psychological interplay between these roles amplifies the impact of his work. Beneath all the strategy, planning, and execution lies a fundamentally curious and playful mind. Curiosity fuels experimentation, exploration, and risk-taking. Playfulness enables flexibility, creativity, and resilience. In psychology, play is often associated with divergent thinking, problem-solving, and cognitive agility. In Mr. Beast, it is the engine that drives innovation, the psychological spark that transforms ordinary ideas into extraordinary experiences. Play is not frivolous. It is the mode through which learning, adaptation, and mastery occur. His persistence reflects an internal locus of control, a belief that outcomes are determined not by chance, but by effort, strategy, and intentionality. This mindset creates resilience, fosters accountability, and drives sustained effort. He does not attribute success to luck or circumstances. He attributes it to preparation, ingenuity, and disciplined execution. Psychologically, this is empowering, creating a sense of agency that reinforces motivation and amplifies achievement. Finally, there is the element of altruism intertwined with performance. Mr. Beast's philanthropy is not superficial. It is deeply integrated into his identity and content strategy. He understands the psychological impact of giving, both on recipients and on the audience. Generosity becomes both a moral imperative and a strategic tool. reinforcing engagement, trust, and loyalty. The psychology here is sophisticated. It combines ethical reasoning, social cognition, and emotional resonance. By giving, he not only creates content but shapes perception, builds community, and extends influence. In conclusion, the psychology of Mr. Beast is a tapestry of foresight, resilience, intrinsic motivation, empathy, risk tolerance, pattern recognition, strategic flexibility, habit discipline, vision, attention management, decision-making sophistication, gamification, curiosity, playfulness, internal locus of control, and integrated altruism. He is a mind engineered for innovation, engagement, and impact. He blends art and science, instinct and analysis, generosity and strategy, transforming every endeavor into an opportunity for attention, influence, and emotional resonance. He is not simply a creator, he is a phenomenon of psychology, a human being who has architected his own mind, habits, and strategies to operate at peak creative and cognitive capacity. To understand him is to witness a rare alignment of mental faculties, one that allows audacious vision to coexist with disciplined execution, calculated risk to coexist with empathy, and immense scale to coexist with attention to detail. Mr. Beast demonstrates that in the modern world, psychology is not just internal, it is externalized, operationalized, and amplified. His mind is a laboratory where creativity, strategy, and human behavior intersect. His life is a continuous experiment in attention, motivation, and influence. And perhaps the most profound lesson of all, that the extraordinary results we see on screen are not merely products of resources, talent, or luck, but of deliberate, sustained, and sophisticated psychological architecture. He is a master not just of content, but of human behavior, attention, and engagement. And in studying him, we gain insight not only into what makes a viral phenomenon, but into what makes a mind capable of extraordinary creation, influence, and transformation.